A cold gunshot echoed through the silent street. The loyal K-9, who had stood by Black Special Agent Talia Monroe through countless missions, dropped instantly. Before the pain could even settle, Talia, bruised, bloodied, and dragged away like a criminal, was forced to face a corrupt police system intent on burying the truth under violence and spin. That loss ignited something deep within her. It seared through the facade of civility and sparked an unrelenting journey of resistance. But the question remained, could a woman dragged across the asphalt rise up to challenge a system built to erase her? The sun cast long amber shadows across the pavement as it dipped behind rows of maples. Talia's shadow stretched with every deliberate step, a silhouette wrapped in calm resolve. Her athletic jacket caught the wind, brushing against a frame forged by grit and discipline, not the image most people expected when they imagined a black woman walking through the suburbs. She walked like someone who knew the rhythm of danger. Every step silent, exact. Eyes ahead. People didn't look at her like she was a neighbor. They looked at her like she was trouble walking on two legs. Across the street, a man watering his lawn slowed. Behind a curtain, a housewife peeked cautiously as Talia and her dog passed the gate. These stairs weren't born on battlefields. They were born in peaceful neighborhoods where poise and melanin clashed with the invisible assumptions people carried. Next to her, Diesel, a German shepherd with a coat like sunburned ash, moved in perfect sync. The collar read K-9, retired, but no less sharp. Diesel's eyes stayed alert, his posture protective. Talia gave a silent pat along his back now and then. A simple gesture. A silent code. We're good. But the air around her grew heavier with every step. Too many eyes. Too much stillness. As they approached the third intersection, Diesel growled low. A police cruiser idled at the corner. Talia didn't stop, didn't speed up. Diesel didn't blink. His ears twitched, throat vibrating with a growl that barely touched the air. Her hand tightened on the leash. The cruiser crept forward. The window rolled down. "Evening, ma'am," came a voice, falsely pleasant. Officer Garrett Hollis sat behind the wheel, trying for friendly, but the vein in his neck pulsed with something else. Talia turned, calm but firm. The light hit the angular planes of her face, sharp as a knife, unwavering. "I live here," she said flatly. "Walking my dog." From the passenger's side, Officer Brian Maddox stepped out. Stocky, bald, and radiating suspicion. "Can we see some ID?" She nodded and moved slowly, her fingers reaching inside her jacket. Diesel angled his body instinctively protective. One silent flick from her hand, and he paused. Garrett looked at the ID. Talia Monroe. That name sounds familiar. Military. Delta Force. Recently retired. Brian scoffed, clearly unimpressed. "We've had reports of suspicious activity. Drug cases. You understand, right?" Talia's eyes didn't waver. "I don't deal drugs. I live on Rosewood Lane. And unless you have a warrant, I'd suggest you let me finish my walk." Garrett chuckled. "Relax. Just seems odd. Someone like you, no offense, walking around looking like a bounty hunter." Brian added, "You're not exactly what people expect when they think neighbor." The air thickened. Talia didn't flinch. People should examine their own expectations before deciding who belongs. The cruiser's radio crackled. Brian returned the ID but lingered with a stare that wasn't curiosity, it was challenge. Diesel held his position. Silent. Reading the situation. Brian stepped closer, voice mocking. "That jacket isn't hiding much. You don't look like you bake cookies. More like you throw punches." She stared back. "I've pulled men twice your size out of IED craters. You wouldn't last a mile in my boots." "You don't need a gun," Garrett sneered. "Someone might mistake you for a threat." Talia exhaled slowly. "I am trained not to overreact. Don't make me an exception." Garrett's friendly tone vanished. "That's enough. You're close to noncompliance." "I've complied," she said. "You've seen my ID. I've broken no laws." Brian smirked. "We got a report. Large black individual, walking with a dog. Fits the description." A chill passed through the air. That's all it took. Her skin, her walk, and a dog to make her a suspect. Diesel growled low again. "Hold," she whispered. Garrett stepped in, voice cold. "You think because you wore a uniform, you're above the law?" "No. But I understand the law better than you." That snapped something in him. "Women like you need to remember their place." Brian laughed. Talia didn't flinch. "What does that mean?" she asked. They didn't answer. She knew what was coming next. The threat wasn't spoken, it moved in the space between their silence. Diesel's stance shifted. Combat mode. "Ready." Talia's hand pressed gently into his shoulder blades. "Stay down." He obeyed, Barely. Brian's hand drifted to his gun. If he moves, I'll shoot. And if I believed you had a shred of judgment, I might care. Garrett snapped. Turn around. Hands on your head. She didn't move. Turning meant vulnerability. It meant surrender. Now. She turned. Slow, controlled. Brian moved in, hands searching, dragging fingers along places he didn't need to. Then shoved her knee. Diesel surged. Diesel. No. Too late. Garrett's safety clicked. The shot cracked. One bark. Then a yelp. Then silence. Diesel hit the pavement, blood blooming beneath his side. No, no, Diesel. Talia dropped to her knees, pulled him into her arms. His body trembled. His gaze met hers, pleading, still waiting for a command. But there was nothing left. You should have held him back, Garrett said, emotionless. Talia didn't hear. She held Diesel as the last warmth left him. His eyes faded. His chest stilled. You killed him, she whispered. A taser fired. She didn't even scream. Her body hit the pavement, spasming. They cuffed her, dragged her across the concrete. Her skull hit a light pole. Blood ran down her temple. Laughter echoed. She should have stayed behind a desk, Brian muttered. Back at the station, they tossed her in a cell. But her sister was already on the way. Morgan Monroe wasn't a lawyer. She was worse. A journalist with receipts. Within an hour, Morgan was in the precinct with signed DHS papers, deployment records, and a press pass. You have 2 minutes to uncuff my sister, she said. Or tomorrow's headline is Veteran Dragged, Dog Killed, Truth Buried. They released her. But the smear campaign had begun. News outlets ran the false story. Aggressive veteran sets dog on police. It didn't matter that it was a lie. Talia sat on her couch, face bandaged, Diesel's leash in her lap. They killed my partner, she said. Now they're burying my name. Morgan whispered, then let's dig it all back up. The video from a neighbor's doorbell camera surfaced. Blurry but clear enough. You don't belong here, Garrett's voice said. Control your dog, or I'll shoot. Morgan's team enhanced it. Talia's voice, steady, Diesel, down. It went viral. The story flipped. Comments flooded in. She was calming the dog. They murdered a K9. But the department doubled down. Standard procedure, they said. Talia didn't flinch. She turned her pain into strategy. She studied the footage. Studied Garrett and Brian's habits. Then came the plan. Garrett first. Outside a bar. A dark alley. No cameras. She moved like smoke. Choked him against the wall. I'm reclaiming what you stole. Then disappeared. Next was Brian. Same trap. Different alley. She hit him with the truth, not a bullet. Left him broken. Both officers gave matching reports. She attacked us. But surveillance showed her elsewhere. Alibis tight. Camera angles perfect. One clip even showed her smiling in a casino at the exact moment Brian claimed he was assaulted. Panic set in. She's playing us, Garrett muttered. She's a nightmare that knows how to plan, Brian replied. Talia wasn't done. She let them break into her apartment, recorded it all. Their slurs. Their fists. Her silence. Then released it. The fallout was swift. Officers turned. Media flipped. Investigations reopened. The chief resigned. The DA filed charges. The courtroom was packed. Talia stood, the leash in her hand, voice steady. I don't want pity. I want justice. For Diesel. For everyone like him. And for every woman like me treated like a threat instead of a neighbor. The jury didn't take long. Guilty. Assault. Abuse of power. Killing a service animal. Sentenced, 25 years. No parole. Outside, a child held a sign. Thank you, Diesel. Talia knelt. Took it in both hands. Later, she visited Diesel's grave. A quiet promise passed from her lips to the wind. You protected me. Now I protect them. Today, Talia teaches coding. Not for money. For justice. For the kids who never see heroes who look like them. She teaches them logic. She teaches them power. She teaches them how to rise. And Diesel's photo sits by the projector. Every day. Every class. So they know. Truth doesn't bark. It builds. It teaches. It survives. Just like the soldier who never stopped walking.